a very simple approach to self-inquiry. I make a lot of videos about self-inquiry because self-inquiry is so simple that it's easy to complicate unnecessarily. So I like to point to it from different angles because at some point it just clicks. It's just an aha moment. And sometimes you have to hear it 20 times or 50 times and try it a bunch of times before an insight just kind of hits you over the head about what's actually being pointed to. It's exquisitely simple. It's stupid simple. And yet, of course, it can be frustrating when thought after thought after thought comes and we just feel so entangled in those thoughts. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is this what I am? Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at? Am I supposed to be finding a self or no self? So I want to offer one other approach. And this approach is nothing special. It's just coming out of this moment. But it may resonate. It may click for you. So to clear the space for this to work, let's let go of all other beliefs about self-inquiry or about self or I am, previous approaches, successes or failures. Let's just let them go for the moment and work with a clean slate of presence. So, in this space of right now, where we're only concerned with what's happening right now, we're not concerned with the past or the future, because what we're inquiring into is not in the past or future, it's only right here. We start by asking the question, who am I? And just noticing what happens. That's it. Now, simply speaking, one of two things is going to happen. There's going to be a thought, which you'll recognize by the fact that it's formed through language, concepts, beliefs, internal dialogue, narrative, or perhaps images, visual images in the mind. Or there won't be any thoughts. If there are no thoughts, after asking the question, who am I? You just stop there. That's doing nothing. That's stopping or resting. Nothing more needs to be done. I could say wait and see, but I don't want you to think about waiting and seeing what's coming. It's just a readiness, an alertness, and a complete stopping. So we ask, who am I? And then look. And again, either everything stops or a thought comes and says whatever thoughts say. Often they're about the practice. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking for. That's a thought. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be looking for. That thought seems to apply an I or a me. So try to look back and find it. Follow that backwards. That thought seems to point to a me that doesn't know what it's doing. But where is it? Can you find it in direct experience? We're not trying to think about it. We're just feeling into it. Now, one of two things will happen. Either it'll stop, there'll be no thoughts, or another thought will come. And it can say whatever it says, it's fine. We're not trying to avoid thoughts. But we are wanting to be alert to the presence of thoughts. So maybe a thought comes and says, oh, wow, there was no thoughts for 3 or 4 seconds. That's the next thought. That's a thought we have to recognize as a thought in this practice. So the thought seemed to be my thought, right? But we can identify it as a thought, which means it's not what I am, because I am aware of the thought as such. And the thought said, I was without thoughts for 3 or 4 seconds. Can you follow it back to the I? Who's the one that thought seems to refer to? Where is the one that thought seems to refer to? Experientially. I don't want you to try to answer it. I want you to find it. Notice you can never be out of it. Notice wherever you look, you're also the looking. There's just looking, just being. You don't need a thought to identify and recognize that, because you are that. So again, either everything stops and there's just that pure sense, pure I, or pure being, without having to label or identify it with thoughts. Or there's another thought. So just remain alert. The thought could say, oh, I'm getting nervous, or I feel anxiety when I sit this long without thinking. Great. Now let's look back to where that thought seems to point. Who is the I? Where is the I? Just step back into the I and stop. The one that thought seems to be about. We don't know if it's about anything, but it suggests that's what it's about. So let's rest in it. And if it's not obvious what resting in it means, then look for it experientially. Where's the one that seems to be aware of the thought that says, where's the one that seems to be aware of the thought that says, I'm nervous, I'm feeling anxious? Then stop there. Rest there. Remain alert, but don't contemplate or analyze your situation. Wash, rinse, repeat. Just follow these steps until it's very clear the difference between the sense of being or the sense of I, with no labels, descriptors, objects of thought, and a thought about I or the thought about me. When you know the difference, you can always lead yourself back to this. I am I. This I am. I am. I am that I am. There's many, many pointers to this, but ultimately you have to intuit it yourself until it just clicks.